So the first thing we're going to look at is the importance of humility before God. So humility is something that I've talked about a lot on this podcast and YouTube channel because it's such a vital characteristic in helping in growing in our faith and advancing in our purposes. So in my own words, humility means submitting to God's mission for our lives and trusting that He knows truly what is best through the reckless abandonment of our own agendas in the pursuit of His higher purpose for us. So Isaiah 55, 8 and 9 says, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." Ephesians 3:20 also says, "Now to Him who is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine, according to the power that is at work within us." And Proverbs 3:5 and 6 says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding, but in all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your path straight." So out of the many verses in the Bible, these are just three that shows how God truly knows what's best for us, and we have to really learn and understand that in order to grow in humility. So some of the ways that we can grow in humility is through confessing and repenting from sins to God and others, submitting to God's authority and other authority God has placed in our own lives. This could be our parents or a boss or pastors and so on. We need to accept, receive, and consider correction from other people. We also need to accept a lowly position, and this could be in our job or our ministry. And we need to purposefully associate with people in a lower state than us, which is a huge one. And here's a sneaky one as well, but we need to talk more about other people than we do ourselves. It's very common to hear conversations of other people constantly trying to one-up each other on how awesome that they think they are. So instead of always trying to one-up the other person you're having a conversation with, when they give you some great news, make that person feel good. Congratulate them. Ask them questions about their success and how they got there. Stop making it all about you. Make it all about the other person. These are just some ways that we can be more humble. And over time, as we grow in humility before God, He will bless us. So James 4:6 says exactly that. God opposes the proud, but shows favor to the humble. So we have to pay attention to that. It said God opposes the proud. The definition of oppose means eager to prevent or put an end to, disapproving of or disagreeing with. So God is eager to prevent and put an end to our pride, and God disapproves and disagrees with our pride. And remember again that there's a reward to being humble. The last half of that verse says God shows favor to the humble. So favor means approval, support, or liking for someone or something, and also an act of kindness beyond what is due or unusual. So we say, God, I want to know my purpose. And God says, okay, I'll lead you into your purpose, but I want you to position in a place of humility before me first. And unfortunately, that's where most of us get stuck and we give up. So God begins positioning us in a place of humility and we resist Him. So we pray to go from the pit to the palace, but we reject God's process for us to get there. So we have to remember Proverbs 3:5 and 6, lean not on your own understanding. And as I've mentioned before, the only reason I can talk about a lot of these things is because I've once struggled with them too. But because of God's grace and kindness, now I can give back and teach you some of the methods that I've implemented that have helped me overcome these challenges. So remember, humility is a great first step, if not the greatest first step, in strengthening our walk with God that will over time position us in alignment with God's purpose.